certain things that I like talking about is breaking parenting myths and talking about parenting truths that I think we ought to know in this day and age. Because I think a major part of this population, those of us who are parents right now, we are intentional about being there for our children, and we are intentional about breaking generational trauma. And like I said, our parents did the best they could. So it's not about always pointing out fingers and saying they didn't do, they didn't do, they didn't do. They didn't do, they did the best they could. Fortunately or unfortunately, some of us are healing from that kind of trauma that you're exposed to as children. Now, here are some parenting truths that I think we ought to know, and really, really, I think, again, I'll walk around with a placard so people can just understand the importance of these truths. My name is Jaquline Njeri, a counseling psychologist based in Nairobi, Kenya, and let's get down to it. Number one, listen carefully to what your children have to tell you, even the little things they have to tell you. I know sometimes, especially when they are younger, they want to tell you things and you feel like it's a waste of time, and you feel like you've got better things to do. I'm not disputing that. But if you don't pay attention to the little things that matter to them, how then will they trust you with the bigger things that matter to them? So it starts very early. And what I've realized also is, when I'm talking to parents about, actively listening to their children, and they tell me how it seems like a waste of time to listen to their children, give stories that don't have a sense of direction, or they feel like they could do something better with that time, because we've been conditioned to be constantly busy, and to feel like the little things that matter, like having decent conversations, like having one-on-one conversations with people that we care about, or people that matter to us, seems like such a waste of time. If you don't pay attention to the little things that matter to them, you're gonna lose them. And when they have big things to tell you, they will not care to tell you, because they realize from a very early age that you didn't have time to listen to their quote unquote childish stories. Number two, respond to your children with love in their worst moments, their broken moments, in their angry moments, in their selfish moments. I want to give an example. For those of you who are parents and are following me, uh, I'm sure you've noticed that, especially with the younger children, when they get older, they become more emotionally regulated. But with the younger children, when they come back from school, it's like some monster is unleashed from them, and they have tantrums, and they cry, and they whine, and they seem so unhappy and dissatisfied with anything and everything. It's because at school they had to follow these routines. At school they had to follow a rigid structure, and they had to force themselves to go through the routine. But once they see you, once they come back at home, because they trust that they're safe with you, because they trust that you're able to support them even in their worst moments, all hell breaks loose. So what am I saying? In their worst moments, in their selfish moments, you know what I got to learn? Children ask for love in the most unloving ways. And that for me became a game changer, because I'm always curious to understand what is my child trying to say behind the behavior, because every behavior is communication. Behind the behavior, there is something they're trying to tell me. There is a need they're trying to have met, and because they trust me with those needs, they want me to come through for them. Pay attention to your children, especially when they come out to you in the most unloving, selfish moments. Number three, most of us punish our children for behaving in a certain way, whereas it has been proven that um, emotional, for the brain to be fully developed, the person has to be at least 24 years. Like, the brain fully develops at 24. Pardon me, I'm tired. So most of us punish our children for behaving in certain ways, for behaving in irrational ways, whereas developmentally they're just doing what they ought to do, and they're counting on you to teach them these skills. They're counting on you to teach them how to respond. They're counting on you to teach them they're counting on you to teach them how to communicate. They're counting on you to give them a shoulder to lean on. They're counting on you to show them love and validation even in their worst moments. And most of us do not really pay attention to our children, and we want to kind of just punish them and shrink them and make them behave in a certain way because it's more convenient, as opposed to taking the journey of being intentional and just understanding what is the rationale behind this behavior. What need is this child trying to fulfill? Stay woke. Now, okay, let me not say most, that would be biased. Some caregivers, some parents have given the burden to their children to make them happy. Some parents, some caregivers want to turn their children into their personal therapists. Sometimes we give our children too much information about our lives, about our struggles, and we kind of expect them to give us a shoulder to lean on, and we expect them to actually listen and empathize with us. That is robbing your child of their childhood. That is robbing your child of, their ability to just be children and enjoy life. Children are supposed to be burdened with things like, what am I going to wear? I don't like today's dinner, I can't wait to have tomorrow's breakfast, or tomorrow we have a test, I need to revise, or tomorrow we're having such and such a teacher, I need to get ready for this kind of classes. My friends are waiting for me, I need to dress up and go and run around and make noise. These are the kind of struggles that our children are supposed to be talking about, not them worrying that you're not happy, and them worrying that you're having trouble at work, or your spouse is pissing you off, or or you're having difficulty with your co-workers. Those are not the kind of things that you need to tell your children. Go for therapy. Speak about these things in therapy. Stop robbing your children of their childhood. Number 5, it is not your child's responsibility to make your life easier. It is actually your responsibility as an adult to make the child's life easier. Roger that. So parenting is not easy. I know. I'm a parent. I've got 2 children. I've got 2 humans who sometimes make me want to pull my hair and scream. Yes. But I have come to understand that even in the stressful moments, even in the ups and downs, these children are looking up to me as their parent. And this is why I'm passionate about child and adolescent therapy, because I realize that so many of us do not understand how to nurture our children, do not understand how to come through for our children. We have no idea how to be present and intentional, and we minimize our children's experiences, knowingly or unknowingly, because we feel like it's a waste of time, or you could do something better, you could finish this work assignment, you could respond to that email, you could possibly go for your salon appointment and all that. But just nurture your children. They are little for just a short time, and then at some point, they're out and about and they're doing their own things. So appreciating these humans as they are, loving them as they are, paying attention to their needs, and understanding how best you can meet them where they are, not where you expect them to be. Thank you so much for being here.